We are headed to the town of Cicero. We're starting the foreclosure evictions for the day.
This is it.
2019, you have a domestic and a progress.
It's empty. Sometimes they're occupied, sometimes they're not. So, this is it.
Final notice always got me. I always thought, oh, that's when I became very concerned every time someone even drove down our street, thinking this is it, It's been our home for 41 years, and then we had 3 kids who grew up here, and that's sort of sad too. I thought, where's anyone going to have? I mean, this was almost like a home base. You have a problem, go, No more problems. Everything you pack has a story to it. If you got it from someone, you start thinking of that person and the occasion and the whole thing, and that brings something else, and it is very, very, very difficult. It breaks your heart.
Throughout the foreclosure proceedings, most of the people that I talk to have not had advocacy prior to coming to me that they tell me about. A lot of them are feeling like victims and don't feel like they've had any help.
This is a rough time, and you really feel as if people are just completely outmatched, as if it's just not fair, that the deck is so stacked that you have the banks with unlimited resources, truly unlimited resources, and then you have the homeowner. Do you think they have money sitting around to hire a lawyer? Of course not. And so, I mean, you never really had a scenario where you have it just so completely out of whack, where you have the one group, all the resources, the other group has zero.
It can be very confusing, and we get a lot of people who come to us actually having started the loss mitigation process with their lender and who are just so frustrated in dealing with their lender that they kind of have given up and at that point need help. You can hear kind of just this like absolute frustration and hopelessness in their voice.
My name is Bertina Jones, and I'm in a crisis now of a foreclosure. Usually in spring, I start planting flowers and just getting ready for the summer. I have a lovely backyard. I have patio furniture, and I'm just not in that move right now until I know for sure that I have my home back. It was very, very confusing. But when you don't have a lawyer and you have no alternative, you just try to do what you have to do. And that's why I went pro se. Went to the courthouse, start looking for other cases where people have filed foreclosure, try to use a format, found out how to address it, because it's a certain format for that. It's very, very technical. You really do need a lawyer.
The more complicated the case, even in a plain vanilla foreclosure case, the odds are stacked against the homeowner if they don't have an attorney. The lender's always going to have an attorney, and you see a lot of this in court. The homeowner steps up and they say, they're appearing on the foreclosure case, and they say to the judge, but I have my loan modification application in. I'm working with the servicer, the lender. And I'm sitting there knowing that 9 times out of 10, the servicer is not going to give them a loan modification, because this is like an individual who's just on their own. You know, we know how it works, and there's a total disconnect between the servicer that the homeowner's talking to on the phone and then the attorney who's moving ahead with the foreclosure case. Despite what this homeowner's hearing, probably they're not going to get helped.
You know, that cliche, our home is our castle, but it is. My kids were born in my house.
To lose a home is a terrible thing. You know, that does affect somebody's life and health. Ultimately, once you lose your home, you become homeless.
I couldn't talk about it for a long time. I'm just getting now where I can even tell people.
It has been very stressful. There were times when I couldn't sleep at night.
I didn't understand half of what was being said to me. Honestly, I didn't.
You're trying to talk with somebody and they're giving you the runaround. You know, well, it's not in our hands anymore. It's in our collection department hand. Then you call the collection department. Then they telling you it's in the process of being sold.
I'm not giving up. You know, I will stand in court. Right is right, wrong is wrong. You know, and somebody's going to hear me. Somebody, some judge is going to hear me.
Some of the issues involved for human beings, for our citizens, for our community, they are so essential to life itself, like losing parental rights, losing your home, whether losing your apartment as a tenant, that these fundamental housing issues and family issues, it's just vital, we see it, to have counsel attach and work with that particular litigant to get them through a system, whatever that outcome may be. Clearly, the assistance of counsel would make a difference. There's no question.